What you doing?
I'm making fun of that guy over there.
Well, we made it to York, Nebraska. Jackie's putting out some pads, doing some measurements.
So we don't sink down in the mud. Hi.
Hi. So we made it to York, Nebraska. I'm Ross, this is Jackie. And we're gonna go over some tips and tricks that we've learned across our travels and some Brinkley specific tips and tricks today. Tips and tricks, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. The first thing I like to do is get in here, like I did that one-handed, and I get our Bulldog out. And we're gonna go check the power supply and make sure that it's good to go. I plug the Bulldog in and I turn it on and listen for the click. That means the power is good to go. That way, when after we get all set up and it's leveled and everything's plugged in, we don't find out there's a power issue. Well, we found this out the hard way. Here's a tip for Brinkley's. Always make sure before you do any kind of leveling or height or height changes, you close those bottom doors, because we didn't on the other side one time.
And you can accidentally crush the lip of this door when it hits the ground.
Yeah. Yep, gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful.
I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a little wrinkle right there in that mount. That's why we say make sure the doors are up before you do any leveling. All right, ready when you are. Going up. That's good. One of the things I like to do before Jackie puts the slide out is get to this sewer pipe. Otherwise the slide comes out and blocks me. So let's throw that on there real quick. Now from this point, everything's easy. She can put the slide out because I've already got this attached. Ta-da! I grabbed one of these at Walmart. Keeps me from getting muddy and dirty down in the gravel. Yeah, unfortunately, with Brinkley's, you have to unreel the whole thing to use it. There's I don't know if they're ever going to figure that out, but you have to bring the whole thing out, unfortunately. I take the slack and I throw it up under here, just so it's out of the way and it looks tidy. If you notice, with this watchdog on there, it sits pretty low, and if you see that muddy area, that's where water has been pooling. I never want my electricity sitting in the water, so I try to prop it up on something that's going to keep it out of the mud. It seems like these things are really long, and some of these pedestals are really low. Here's another tip that we learned, that we figured out. Some places will let you do this, some won't. I just usually don't make it a point to ask, but I tap into the 30 with this converter, and then I have a 15 amp heavy gauge extension cord that I run into the kitchen window. And that's what Jackie uses for her air fryer, oven combo, George Foreman, so we're not pulling it through the RV. Just a little tip that we did to keep extra ampage out of our system. You can see I try to make it look tidy. I use some ties on it once we get set up. That way, the tidier I think you make it look, the more lenient they will be that you're using that extra plug. The last thing I set up is the internet. I start with this get the ladder up, and I'm gonna put it on top. I like to weigh it down when it's up there just for wind, so I'll throw a couple of those up on the slide. Where's my other one? This one I actually wrap around the shaft of the, I'll just pitch them up there on top of the slide, makes a loud noise, and then we'll climb up there. I keep this little foam protector on the plug. I have a spare cable, but so far this one's been working for about 11 months now on this cable, just taking care of it, being safe with the tip. All right, we're gonna put that together and get it on the roof. So once I get up here on the roof, my loving wife has already told me north is that way, so that's the way I'm gonna point it. Put this one around the pole like this. And usually your worst winds come out of the north. So I put it like that. Now let's plug it in, see how it goes. A couple schools of thought on this. I use my foam to keep that tight, and then I run it down this rubber channel. I'll show you. As you can see, I just put it right inside that little slide flap. And I run my hand along it all the way down to the bottom. And I'll show you what I do with it when it gets down there. So from right here, I can still reach it. I just push it under all the way down, and I tuck it over that little corner right there. It's nice and tidy, out of the way. And then I pull my excess slack in like that and tuck it back in here with the full length. So it's out of the way, tidy. Nothing stringing, just that yellow extension cord, nothing else running down the side. Now we just wait for it to activate. Kick on. It's alive. Now I better move that ladder before it turns. There it goes. All right, let's get the ladder down and be done. Here's another tip that we learned the hard way. We put our pressure gauge on the inside. I used to put it at the faucet, at the city water faucet, and when it got down to 21 degrees it froze and it broke. So I had to buy a new one. So now I keep it tucked inside here. As you can see, everything is nice and tidy. And then the whole side of the RV is tidy. That's it. Completely set up. Starlink up and running almost. This is not going to be a tip or trick for every person, but it's something that I did because I thought it looked cool. I actually made a YouTube video on it. I'll post the link down in the description. But I tied into this storage light 12 volt from the battery. I added my own plug, I fused it, and I put in a remote 12 volt relay with a remote inside. Then I got one of these plugs. I think it's from, it's called Liteswitch is a company. Although the G models, because of the solar, the plug is not powered. So that's why I had to tap into 12 volt, and I'll show you where I plug it in. So I always leave our plug sitting out like this, and then I get this ready, and I'll plug it in and show you what I do with this dangly blue wire. Oh, you can see it's plugged in, it's ready to go. I just put these little clips on here, alternating back and forth. Put it up above the door. Alternate these back and forth so you get to right there. And then the wire tucks in, door closes. It's also nice and tidy. And I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you a picture of what it looks like right here. I think it looks cool, especially at night, as long as you don't have people behind you that's blinding them, because those taillights are bright. I get a lot of comments on my flagpoles on the front of the Brinkley. People want to know how I did it. Well, here's the trick. It's a magnet mount I got off Amazon, and it just magnets onto the deal. And I'll put a link down in the description on where I got it. You can see it doesn't fit perfect, but man, that thing has never come off. The flags have come out in storms, but this has never come off of the neck. one of the tips that I want to give you guys is check your wet bolts. And if you don't know what that is, like I wasn't really sure what that was, then I'm going to show you real quick. We were in Hot Springs, South Dakota. I was doing a travel day pre-inspection. I always check the suspension. I make sure the equalizers aren't flipped. I make sure everything's good to go under there. I got to the back on the, I guess it would be the door side, and I noticed that one of the wet bolts had broken. This is what it looked like when I found it. And that broken wet bolt, we were due to leave. So I went to the hardware store. I got a quick fix grade 8 bolt. I threw it in there and it lasted for a while. And then I contacted Brinkley. They shipped me a whole new set of wet bolts and said, get these replaced. So I delayed it coming across far eastern Colorado. And we stopped at a rest stop and I climbed under there to check it because I was nervous about that bolt, and sure enough, it had broken. So there we were at a rest stop. I got out all my tools. We jacked up the RV. We took the wheel off. It was kind of an ordeal. Got everything fixed. Got it torqued. Got it greased on the Zerk fitting, and I'll show you what you should be keeping an eye on. So. This is where you want to be checking. If you notice that bolt right there, that's your wet bolt. And you can see that one's brand new. And on this side, you can see the Zerk fitting. You can see the grease coming out where I greased it. But those things are on every connection, there's a wet bolt. So you need to be checking them, making sure that they're not dry. We've got about 14,000 miles on ours. I didn't know that I was supposed to be greasing those. So that's a tip for you guys, especially with the Cree 3000 suspension. Be checking them, be greasing them. Another quick tip. Some people know about this, some people don't. But this external 12 volt refrigerator right here, there's an app. It's called Alpicool. And that app can give you the status for what's going on. You see how I have it set really low? Because we're using it as a backup. We're using it as a backup freezer. But this is the app. You can make adjustments. You can find it on the App Store. And it's been pretty cool to be able to watch it. It also, weirdly enough, gives you your voltage off of your batteries. So there's another little tip for the G owners. Have you ever had an issue where your Bluetooth lost connectivity with your One Control? It happens to us occasionally, maybe once or twice every couple of months. And the first time that I contacted Brinkley about it, they put me in touch with Lippert. Lippert said sometimes the only way to reset it is to disconnect the 2 power wires from the Infinity board, the X4 Infinity. So I had to climb all the way back there, remove a panel, pull those wires, wait for 3 minutes, and put them back. So I told myself, and I told Jackie, if I ever have to do this again, I'm putting switches on those. So I'll show you what I did. I put switches on those 2 power wires, and they're right here. So if we lose connectivity, I come out here, I open the baggage compartment, I turn those 2 switches off. They go all the way back there behind. There's our Starlink. They go back there behind to the X4 board, yeah, Unity board. So that's really been huge because you wake up in the morning and you can't adjust anything and you can't do anything. I come out here, I flip those 2 off for about a minute, 2 minutes, flip them back on, everything works. That prevents you from having to shut off power to the RV, losing all of your lights in the kitchen and the bathroom. If Jackie's doing something, you don't have to turn off the power. I added those 2. I could go in more depth if anybody wants. Just put it down in the comments if you want me to talk more about it. You notice here, Brinkley gives you this little piece of Velcro. This little piece of Velcro to hold that gate open. Well, if there's a stiff wind at all, that won't work. So here's what I would come up with. You just pop one of those bad boys on there and it holds the gate open. Do it on both sides. Keeps it from swinging closed on you when you're loading and unloading motorcycles. Another question that I see a lot on the G page, and I thought I would throw this out, is wheel chocks. So these are the wheel chocks that we ordered, Cargo Smarts, and they're built on an E-Track system. I'll have Jackie pop that one out for you. You just pull the 2 tabs, and it comes right out. And then we'll show you where they go in the toolbox.
Let me show you how to put them in.
Oh, it's easy. It's just a normal E-Track. That's it. It's right in. All right. One thing she wanted to make sure and remind people of is that we measured ours off of the rear tire being on the flat surface right here. So we put the bike in here, we measured it, and then that's where we came up.
So you may mount yours here, or here,
yeah, maybe here,
or here.
Fortunately, our bikes are short enough we can still use the bathroom door and this door.
You can use all the doors.
Yeah, all the doors can open. Goodbye, Maggie. So, the other thing I get is, how did you attach them? Well, I screwed them into the floor. I use these 5/16 lag bolts. They're 1.5 inches length. Because of the height of this, you can see that's a little height. That way, and I pre-drilled them so that they don't penetrate the floor fully. This is a 1-inch deck in the G models. So those are the ones I used. They're 5/16 inch by 1.5 inch lag screws, and we've had 0 problems with those. I also did the same thing for my toolbox. I had 2 of those plates, and my toolboxes are locked down with the plates over there. This is Jackie's world right here. She knows exactly how everything fits in the toolbox.
So the trick to these, upside down.
Yep.
With the bumper facing up to avoid
the latches.
So when you close it, it won't get hung up on the bumper.
Yep. We have color coded. The green is for my bike, the black is for her bike, and each one is labeled right front, left front, right rear. So on. We throw them in there.
And we don't remove these.
Yeah, we leave those.
We leave these so we know exactly where they go each time.
We don't have little ones in the dog. It doesn't bother the dog at all. So, and then we throw all those in there. She closes it. Oh, it's sitting somewhere. It's sitting that centerpiece. Yep. There it is. Trial and error. All done. Good job. Tell me about your tips and tricks in here. How did you prep the bedroom for? Did you put bungees on?
Yes.
Show me your bungees. So she bungees those.
So nothing falls out of the cabinet while we're in travel. So
you can see we stack everything on the bed.
Our laundry basket we put on the bed.
Just the bungees.
Usually hangs out there.
Yeah, bungees are just a good tip to have. Make sure that your bathroom door is always closed.
Every door is closed. Bathroom door, bedroom door.
Make sure that that's latched.
Garage door.
Yep, all doors are closed.
Spare bathroom door.
Oh, Jackie does the security tape. Even though Brinkley fixed it.
Yes.
Security tape on the microwave. Bungees.
And it's painter's tape, so it's not going to ruin the paint. Yeah, it's painter's tape.
Yep, bungees everywhere.
So even bungee the bottom drawer, or the bottom pull-out.
Which is just koozies anyway.
Some of you may have silverware in there, but that keeps the door from popping down as a surprise when you open it up.
There it is.
It's not all over the floor.
Keeps it all tight.
Go outside.
What was that? A miller moth?
A moth. We're invaded by moths at Aurora in Colorado.
Oh my gosh, we're still...
They're everywhere.
There's hundreds of them. Every time we open a cabinet, moths come out and we try to shoo them. Some of you have probably already seen this in other videos, but we use in between the beds for storage.
Get the curtains down.
Jackie has to get over there to get the curtains down. And I'll show you how we did the curtain rod. She pulls the curtains. So we use this space in between here keep our dog crate.
So we also keep our riding jackets. We got a cold weather jacket and a summer jacket. Each of us do. And then we hang them, probably the weirdest spot ever, on these little pole keys, I guess.
Little pins that allow you to keep one sofa up, one sofa down. But that way they're not swinging and knocking around the motorcycles.
And they're not taking up room in our closet.
Yep. So this is where I mounted the curtains. You can see I notched out that piece of plastic so that curtain rod would go all the way to the wall. It's just a plastic cover that covers up the wiring for the Happy Jack system. And on the other side,
There's nothing in the way.
yeah, on the other side, I just mounted it to the wall. I pushed it up in the corner and I added a screw to it to hold it in. And then in the center, I put a little hook up there to help support it. So that's how we mounted the curtains, and I will put those, I'll put a link for those in the description as well.
Yep.
I wanted to show you guys what those curtains look like. That's evening sun coming in through the patio. The patio's down, doors are closed, windows are up, and that's the amount of light that you get. If you can imagine at night how dark it would be with all that closed up, it works really well. Those curtains are worth the money for sure. I wanted to show our camera system. We have Nest cameras that we had in our brick and mortar home back in Texas, and we kept them. And so I was thinking, hey, we have, whenever we park, we have Starlink, we have Wi-Fi, why couldn't we have those cameras? So if we're out on a motorcycle adventure or doing whatever and we get a notification of dogs moving or barking even, it'll tell you if they bark. We can pull up those cameras and see what's going on. If you notice, if you watched our last video, we only have one dog crate down, and our old man, our 16-year-old Chihuahua Pedro, didn't make it. He's definitely missed, and we missed him on our travels to get here, and we'll continue to miss him for sure. This one has gotten used to the couch. She has a crate, but there's her couch. I'll show you where we have the other camera. We put it right here. It's with command strips, and it's been up there for a couple thousand miles. We haven't had any issues. I think Jackie's gonna pull it up for us and show us what it looks like when we're viewing it.
It shows both rooms that we have a camera in.
I mean, it's a basic Nest camera like you would have at your house, but and it does have sound, so we can monitor what's going on. You can see Jackie. You can see that was just a little tip that we did. Another one is the dehumidifier. We turned it off to make this video because it's kind of noisy. Here, you can turn it on. We'll see. Kind of see how noisy it is. It's just a fan noise. That thing will fill up in a humid environment in, say, what, 10 hours?
If we're in Texas, it fills up every couple hours. If we're in a dry state like Colorado, it will barely fill up at all. So we didn't run it too much in Colorado.
We didn't have to run it. It was like 30-something% humidity.
Yes,
so.
it was so dry in Colorado, my hands started cracking. So lots of lotion.
Yep, so that's another little tip we use. We got it on sale at Tractor Supply. It's called Perfect Aire. See it right there, it's Perfect Aire, and I can put the model number. If you want to know about the model, just put it in the comments and I'll throw it down in there for you guys. Okay, Grogu, that's enough. We've had people ask, and I've seen posts about, hey, can you bring that monitor inside to use like a security camera? And you can. You're only going to see the 3 cameras that they have. But if you heard something outside, you could do that. Obviously, it doesn't record. Grogu, for the love of all things. Stop. Yes. So you can see the cord right here. And we got a 110 adapter to a 12 volt. And then we had to order this cord separate from Furrion so that we could plug it in here and keep the one that's mounted in the truck. But it is possible and you can do it. And thanks Grogu for ruining my video. This is another thing that we did. We added a sound bar because, you know, as you know, these TVs don't necessarily have the greatest speaker system. And trying to use this through the TV, I know that Rockford Fosgate is working on a fix for that. And I'm hoping to get my hands on it. If I do, I will let you guys know. But we added a sound bar just because it sounds better. One thing I had a problem with is with the switches down here, or the plugs down here, I was running my iPhone cord up to the top, but it was always falling to the floor. And being lazy, I used one of those same little clips that I used underneath the cab for that blue wire, and I just put a little hook there so it holds it. Hey guys and girls, thanks again for watching our tips and tricks for RVs and Brinkley specific items. Once again, this is not a how-to.
It's how we do.
That's right, how we do. So take it all with a grain of salt, do it your own way if you want. Just trying to help you guys out a little bit. And I can't emphasize enough, check your wet bolts. I had no idea I was supposed to be doing that. So make sure you climb under there and check them, see if they're dry, put a little grease in there. And we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks.